Alec Baldwin and producers of the film Rust are now facing a wrongful death lawsuit that alleges, quote, reckless behavior and cost cutting are what led to the shooting death of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. Lawyers for Hutchins' family releasing this video simulation of the moment Baldwin's gun went off. Baldwin says he did not pull the trigger, but attorneys say their evidence is overwhelming.
There are regulations and guidelines in place today that should prevent something like this from happening. Had they not been reckless, somebody doesn't get shot in a movie set. Alec had the gun in his hand. He shot it. Halyna was killed.
All right, let's bring in attorney Brian Claypool. And if you can show us that video again that they produced, it's pretty interesting while I'm asking Brian this question. So, Brian, I don't think this is a big surprise that her family is suing for reckless behavior here, do you?
No, not a surprise at all. And it's no surprise that Alec Baldwin's a named defendant. Hannah Gutierrez Reed is a defendant, and Dave Halls is a defendant. He's the last guy that gave Baldwin the gun.
So one of the things that really strikes me is the chain of custody here of the bullets. And I'm still waiting, I know we all are, for there to be an investigation that determines, because it seems like it's in a closed environment, they ought to be able to figure out how the live round ended up in the gun, right?
Yeah, Martha, that's true, but bear in mind there's two issues here. I think all the three individuals I just named are culpable, right? All three of them arguably should have looked into the gun to see if there was a live ammunition in there. All three of them. In my opinion, all three of those should be indicted too in a criminal case. The other issue you're talking about, who is responsible for allowing the live weapon onto the Rust set? That's a separate issue to me, and to date, we haven't figured that out. If somebody else is involved with that, they should be indicted too, and they should be also named in the civil lawsuit.
This is pretty striking. We're looking at this video that was put together by the team that is launching this lawsuit, and it's a simulation that is their presentation of what happened. But it's really striking to watch this, and it's an animation that shows where everybody was positioned according to what they know at that moment. And then you see in this animated simulation that the gun go off and she's right behind the camera. It's pretty stunning. So Alec Baldwin responded this way on Instagram around the same time that this news conference was going on that announced that there was a lawsuit against him. Here's what he put up. It says, if you can see it, everything is going to be all right. That from Alec Baldwin. We know that he has said that he did not pull the trigger, and here he is telling that to George Stephanopoulos back on December 2nd. Watch this.
I let go of the hammer, the gun goes off.
At the moment, the decisive
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
Brian, that video and how it plays into this case.
Yeah, Martha, to me, it's devastating. Like the lawyer said for the family, the trigger had to have been pulled. How does the bullet come out of the gun? So Baldwin has some decisions he's going to have to make in this case. And by the way, it's not going to be all right, because the law firm representing the family is known in California for being very aggressive. You saw they've already recreated the shooting. And I believe they're going to put the mission ahead of the money. And what I mean by that is they really want to get some answers here. They want to find out what went wrong. Why was Gutierrez Reed, for example, allegedly negligently hired? And what the lawyers are going to do, the first thing they're going to do out of the box, Martha, they're going to subpoena that entire criminal investigative file. Remember that investigation that's like watching ice melt? I mean, the longest investigation on the planet? I mean, they're going to get that file eventually. And anyway, Baldwin's going to have to also decide, is he going to testify under oath in this case or plead the fifth?
Well, I don't know. He's certainly testified quite a bit already on this case. Yeah. So I would imagine that he would, but we'll see. We'll find out when the time comes. Brian Claypool, thank you very much. So